And welcome back everyone to the FX Open Invitational Series. I am Unstable, joined here by Relk, and we're going to go into game number 2 here between SlayerSArthur and NSHSeal. It is going to be daybreak for game number 2, so let's see if Arthur can bring it back after game 1 went a little bit strange compared to what we normally see in PvZ these days. So, we have SlayerSArthur up here at the top right hand corner as our yellow Protoss. And then opting for the Forge Expand, and then of course down here at the bottom left we have Seal going for the pull first because you can't deal with that probe properly. And we'll see what the follow-up is. We've got 2 Zerglings on the way, he's going to be able to stop that. Hasn't actually taken the third just yet. He's got a drone over here, but it looks like he really wants to take his natural again. We did see from last game that he did not like taking that quick third, going for that 2-base play. It was very low drone count, lots of military units as well.
Look at that, he actually snuck the drone around. Catching Arthur trying to block the third base and use the same drone instead of a second drone to actually build the hatchery at his natural. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does that 2-hatch play again like you're saying. But the end of that game was weird because I felt like Seal could have fought that at the end. And then he went into a base trade situation, which is... It could have gone a lot worse for him than it did. It feels like he was giving Arthur a chance to come back in the game when he didn't necessarily need it. So we'll see what Seal does differently this game. I mean, I wouldn't expect 2-base Muta again. That's not a build you can really pull off 2 games in a row and expect it to work.
No, not really. We do see the Roach Warren on the way very early here, though, for Seal, so he's probably just going to go for a very aggressive Roach bust by the looks of it. He's got that natural hatchery coming up. He's going to have both queens here. Actually, no, he's only got 1 queen on the field at the moment, not making a second one just yet. However, the Zerglings have cleaned out the map, and now Seal will have map control here over Arthur. And it looks like we have double gas in the main here for Arthur. Let's see what his follow-up is going to be.
Yeah, watching him a little bit carefully. His Nexus is now finishing. Cybernetics core is on the way. It's going to be a little while before he really shows us what he's up to. But, I mean, Roaches are on the fields, or in production right now for Seal, backing up with some Zerglings. He's not going to drop a Baneling Nest, it doesn't look like, so he's not going to go for the really crazy version of this. Just going to make a bunch of Roaches, use those to bust down the wall, and then flood in with Zerglings. And we'll see how many sentries Arthur makes. If he is planning on teching rather heavily, which is what it looks like, he probably will be making extra sentries, which will help him out. But the question is, how many will he make?
Yeah, and we do see that probe. He's going to go over here, see that there's no third base again, and he's probably going to play very defensively after this. We do see nothing from the gateway at the moment. There is a Stargate on the way as well. This is not looking good for Arthur. This has happened a few times before this tech choice part. We do see 1 sentry on the way. There is 1 cannon here, though. And
he needs more than 1 cannon.
Well, there's not actually that many Roaches. Like, yes, he will kill the cannon, but he's going to buy himself time. He might actually barely be able to get something out of that Stargate as well. We do see, there's a second cannon going down, and we do see him coming through. He knows something's up now.
Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Now he's going to wall this off with the pylon. This is a much better position. He's chrono boosting out a second sentry as well. So honestly, I think he should be able to hold this at this point. He does need to try and focus those Roaches with the cannon. Yeah, there we go. He does actually switch the cannon onto the Roaches. Now the Roaches will be able to pick away at this Forge. But he's just building more and more cannons, force fielding the gap, trying to keep these out for as long as possible. He needs to try and probably pull some probes to block up the ramp, because this Forge is going to go down. He needs to stop the run by into the main. Yeah,
well, he's still got force field energy, so he should be able to drop. There we go, drops 1 more. He's actually getting more pylons. There's 3 cannons down here now. He's going to have another sentry out very shortly, and I think...
Well, he's going to rebuild the Forge, because Seal's backing off, and he's going to be able to get that down. Oh, putting up a gateway, so yeah. Oh, canceled it. Why did
it was going to die anyway. He just needs to be careful. There we go, another force field nicely done by Arthur. He's going to stop this completely now. There's so many cannons here, there's so many force fields, and now he's going to be able to follow up with this Void Ray. And looking back here, there's only 1 queen, another one on the way, so this Void Ray actually might do so much damage here. He's going to try and do another gateway up the front, but the amount of damage is going to force it. Yet another cancel, but he's got so much energy it doesn't really matter. He can continue doing this all day if he wants to.
Yeah, that was a really good cancel. That was just about to die, and he canceled it at the last second. Void Ray is going to pop here in a second, and like you were saying, Seal just does not have much anti-air. He's trying to work on some extra queens, but he's really low on energy, so he's not going to be able to get out very many. He's likely only going to have the 3 queens. He's actually choosing to back this up with another Void Ray instead of going for the Phoenixes. which is more often what you see in this situation. Just lift off the queens and kill them so that your Void Rays stay really high health. So we'll see what he can do with the multiple Void Rays. He just canceled the second Void Ray while it was Chrono Boosting and dropped extra Gateways instead. So it looks like he's just going to make the one Void Ray, try and force him to... Nope, there we go. He is going to go for the Phoenixes.
Oh, he needs to make up his mind. There we go. Okay, so we just see double queen at the front here. It's going to stop this Void Ray. It's going to force him back. He's actually going to take quite a bit of damage on it. So it's going to be a while before he can come back in with any kind of shield health. At the same time, I don't think he really realizes how far ahead he is in that, because he's on the same work account. He's got the extra tech. He's going to have those Phoenixes out now. Spore Crawlers are now on the way down because he gave away that he had that Void Ray to Seal.
Yeah, I think if Arthur realized the position he was in right now, he'd probably be dropping a third Nexus. Because he can probably get away with it. The very fact that this Void Ray's out on the field is going to force Seal to be defensive and try and put a lot of resources into stopping it. Yeah, we see a Hydralisk Den on the way. And now he's actually cranking out an Immortal. Probably going to follow that up with the Colossus. Just the very standard Phoenix, Immortal, Colossus transition out of this Void Ray Phoenix. But he's choosing to add more gateways instead of adding a Nexus, so I don't think he realizes the situation he's in right now. I mean, Seal gave away a lot of his early drones for that attack, and it just didn't do anything. So he should be aware of the fact that he's in a really good spot right now, but it looks like he wants to just try and kill him and not go into the late game.
Yeah, that's very true. We do see Hydras on the way here for Seal. We saw the same thing from in the game versus Puzzle. Why am I mental blanking on who just played there? Ragnarok, that's who. This Void Ray is going to be able to stop this hatchery because he can just move out to the left-hand side if he wants to. But he's just going to sit there. There we go. Getting out of the way.
Yeah, there's no creep for that to move at all, so he's going to be able to deny this hatchery. He's going to have to cancel it. And that's going to help a lot for what Arthur's doing. It's not really the income right now because the drone count's really low, but that's extra larva he's denying. It's going to cut into the unit count here in a little bit. And he's trying to save this, but it is going to go down. Like, I don't see him stopping this.
Yeah, that's very true.
Did he cancel it?
Oh, it's going to be close. No, he's not going to cancel it.
Wow.
And now his queens are in lift-up range.
Still fully charged.
Nope, no, it's not.
Dropped the charge there at the last second. Those queens would have gone down much faster if he hadn't lost the charge there, but they're still going to die. He's cycling the Phoenixes out quite nicely. Arthur has a lot of units coming in, 2 Immortals as well. Vorp Prism backing it up. This is a really strong attack, and it's going to be really, really difficult for Seal to hold it off.
Well, he's getting a lot of Hydras. Hydras are going to shred through this army because Arthur's expecting Roaches. So it's going to come down to the Force. He needs to pick up those Hydras as quickly as he can, but there is a Spore Crawler there as well. There we go. There's the Force Fields going down. But as I was saying, those Gateway units just get shredded by Hydras, and there we go. He's going to come in with these Phoenixes, try and lift up as best he can. Drones being force field as well.
I like that. He had the force fields down in a really good position to power down the Spore Crawler. Now all the Phoenixes are dead. There's still a lot of Hydralisks alive on the high ground. They're shelling this army quite hard. He might be able to barely hang on. It will be difficult. There are more Hydras down on the low ground as well, and a lot of these Protoss units are very low health. It looks like he's just barely going to hold on. Good force field to lock out these Hydras, but still, Seal isn't dying here, and I think Arthur, if he'd executed this a little bit better, would have crushed him.
Yeah, that's very true. The Hydras on the high ground just shredded through everything. The Phoenixes going over the main bulk of the Hydra army was not the greatest idea. However, we do see a third base going down. It has been spotted by Seal, of course, with robotics being on the way, and a Twilight Council to follow this up, because Seal still is on through. Yeah, the Immortal's going to get taken out by that one. Oh, he's going to get picked up. It's okay.
Hero Warp Prism to save the day. He needs to get these Hydras back on the creep, though. If he wants to turn this around, he needs to pull Overlords and make a creep highway. Like, the Hydras are way too slow off creep. If this goes bad, then they die and you lose the game. You need that mobility, and he's not really pulling any Overlords, but he's still moving across the map very aggressively. If you are going to go across the map aggressively with Hydralisks like this, it is almost an all-in, unless you pull the Overlords. And at that point, I mean, why not?
Yeah, that's really true. We do see a lot of Zealots in the mix-up here. At the top of the ramp, Arthur can't come down there. He has to find somewhere to deal with these Hydras, but he is going to have that first Colossus coming out. Where is it? There it is. In a second, and that will completely change the dynamic of this fight. I believe Seal feels like this is an all-in situation for him as well. just because of the amount of investment he's made. He's down at 30 drones compared to the 59 of Arthur, so we are going to see him just go all in for it here. However, with that Colossus there, I don't see it working out well at all for him, just period.
Yeah, there's only 2 roaches here, which is going to be really crucial. Normally you'd want more roaches out in front, even if they're a bunch of immortals, just to soak the shots, but he just doesn't have that available. He's microing quite nicely against the units here, splitting the units up, trying to minimize the damage, and spreading against the Zealots very nicely. So Colossus came really far forward, is actually going to get focused down. That's a really big mistake. It's going to allow these Hydralisks to trade a lot more cost effectively than they would have normally. So this might not actually be as bad for Seal as it normally would have, but the army is still going to go down. Even with that miss micro on the Colossus, he's still going to hold, still has a lot of units left over. And
well, he didn't have extended
really
thermal so he didn't have extended thermal so there was really no other choice for him there other than to fight with that Colossus at the front. Either way, he still won the engagement. We do see more Zerglings coming out here for Seal, but it's just not going to be enough. I think after he sees the total army size back here for Arthur, he's just going to go tap out. But we do see Arthur coming in. He wants to see if the third base has been down for Seal as well. Run by into the main is going to be cleaned up quite quickly here by the looks of it, because the army's coming back. The probes have already been pulled.
He's actually making more Hydras at this point, which is an interesting decision. I mean, he's not really going to be able to make the same number of Hydras that he had before. Yeah, there's the GG.
I was going to say, yeah, there he goes. GG. So Arthur will take down game number 2. We're going to go into our third game after this quick commercial break. Stay with us.